Hey, I'm Dukes on Twitch. If you want to support the channel and greensunzenith.com, you can find my Patreon, merch store, and singles store where you can buy singles through TCG Player or Card Hoarder in the video description. If you want to get in contact, you can also find all that info in the description below for things like donation deck lists or just wanting to reach out. Alright, let's get right into it. Hey team, welcome back to Dukes on Twitch. Back today with a pretty special stream. This is John Kassari's first place 75 from the 2012 Los Angeles SCG Legacy Open. I haven't changed a single card, and we're going to see how it performs in the 2024 metagame. As you can see, there's some pretty old cards in this list. Things like Aven Mindcensor, which does still pop up from time to time. Sword of Feast and Famine. Typically the swords don't see too much play these days, with cards like Caldra just taking over. Qasali Pridemage, I've seen a lot of lists where it was 3 or 4 Pridemage at the time. Scavenging Ooze was a new thing. Deathrite Shaman wasn't in the format yet. Thalia, I believe, wasn't in the format yet either. So a very different type of legacy. But I have faith, and I think this deck can put in some serious effort even 12 years later, which is pretty cool. We have a Stoneforge Mystic package in the main deck. We have Punishing Fire along with Grove of the Burnwillows. We have a small Green Suns package and things like Gaddock Teeg, Scavenging Ooze, Pridemage, Scryb Ranger. We have the 4 Mums. We have the Jitte. So we also have a Goyf. If you want to look back at the SCG where John, it's gonna get me, a Canadian player, but I even have his deck tech on the Green Suns history page where it played, at the time, Maverick played 4 Goyfs, which is pretty interesting. In the board, it's kind of built around a Enlightened Tutor package. So we have Tormod's Crypt for Graveyard Hate, Stony Silence as a Nullroad effect, Canonist against Storm style decks, Phyrexian Metamorph, which is very interesting because it does copy the One Ring, which I really like. Bojuka Bog Chokes as well, we can farm with Tutor if need be. 2 Blast, a Loam, 2 Path. So pretty happy with what the board actually is, because it has a lot of game against a lot of different styles of decks. So I'm pretty happy to see how this goes and hopefully do the deck justice. I actually really like the thought of taking decks like this and putting them through a league, even with the time difference in deck building, just to see how it goes. See what parts of the deck still hold up and potentially which parts show their age. Actually, Teeg is actually pretty good right now, so I won't make an old man joke. Alright, Legacy League play points. Hope you're all doing well. Let's go to gameplay. But yeah, Maverick during 2012 was pretty crazy. I believe there was an SCG event where at least 5 of the top 8 decks were Maverick. 2012. Yes. SCG Baltimore. Todd Anderson, Ross Miriam, Pat Cox, Michael Braverman, David Boyer, Max. Actually, that's a different one, but yeah, like a lot of players on these lists. And you can see here, like Maverick, Maverick, Sneak, Maverick, Maverick, Spiral, Maverick. Really good showing in this event. And some pretty cool builds. A lot of them played Elspeth Knight Errant, which is pretty cool. Gideon Jura in the board. You can see here 3 Pridemage, 3 Ooze. Just some really cool stuff. But yeah, I think, honestly, if we can just stick to a plan, have an opening with something like either turn 1 Acceleration or turn 1 Mum for protection into either a Knight on turn 2 or potentially a Stoneforge Mystic with protection, of course, from Mum. They're the starts we're going to be looking for. Collector Oof is a pretty big hey better lose. But in red, like Minsk and Boo, not too much else, thankfully. So we'll see how this goes. All right. Unfortunately, here we have a 1-lander with Dried Arbor as a land, so pretty happy to mulligan this. Okay. Look, we do have Forest for Dryad Arbor and try to go from there. Going to 5 without Sylvan Library is a little tough. So it's tough though, because like I feel like I'm just keeping the hand here because it is 6 cards, but I think that could be a good 5. I'd probably be looking for 2 lands, either Noble or Mum, and Green Suns. 2 lands, Matadork, Green Suns, and a threat. Okay, well there we go. Bottom the sword, bottom the Teeg. We can find the Teeg if we really need to. Alright, deck. Tundra into Ponder. I think with the Tundra start, I'm happy just to... I could fetch for Savannah, play the bird. Somewhat hide the red splash for now. One reason to not fetch is for Dryad Arbor, but we have another fetch land for that, so... Pretty happy to fetch here. I think the plan against the Tundra deck is probably just going to be trying to get Gaddock Teeg online as soon as possible. But it could be a variety of decks. Could also be Cephalid. Qasali Pridemage. Okay. I don't want to throw Teeg into just a swords. It's also, to me, I think, is something like Brainstorm. That I feel like we could just go for Knight here. Potentially get a swords out of our opponent's hand. And if the Knight resolves and we get to untap with it, that's pretty good as well. Nothing. Wow, okay. Didn't expect nothing. Ooh, Underground Sea. This is a small issue if they play Teferi and bounce, but it's thankfully not, because we have the Exalted from Pridemage to get in with the bird. Which is kind of cool. Okay. So this is a section where like having Noble can be a lot better, but thankfully we do have the Pridemage to hopefully take out the Teferi. It's pretty nice. All right. White green for Pridemage. All right. Little things here. Little wins. They're all gonna rack up as well. I mean, if we can get the sword down next turn with a land. Oh, maybe there's a world where I could Green Suns for Dryad over there to make sure I have the extra mana for sword, but I don't want to throw 3 creatures into a Supreme Verdict. Sort of Feast and Famine. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card, and you untap all lands you control. Pretty sweet in a deck with like Rishnan Port. Obviously pretty sweet as well with a deck that just has a lot to do. Cast all your spells, main phase was 1, attack, cast more. Ooh, Ritual? Maybe this is Doomsday. Okay. Doomsday is going to be a little bit tricky. Don't really have a great hate bear for it either. Like Teeg doesn't really do a whole lot. Maybe if we draw a land, we can sword. 2, 3, 2. Could also go for Knight over 2 turns. Could be Green Suns for Scryb Ranger. We untap with 1, 2, 3, 4 mana, which means we put 3 into Green Suns. If we don't draw a land, we then get to untap, return a land, and then have the Windswept Heath left over for 3 for the night. We have some interesting cards here. Nothing great against Doomsday, but Stony Silence does a little bit, Canonist does a little bit, especially against the ritual starts. The blasts can help slow down, the chokes aren't too bad either. But to be fair, there could also just be a world where we die this turn. So they are a ring version. Orem's Chant, it's pretty cool. Nothing jumps out. 1 Street Wraith. Or will end step just get a Dried Arbor, get it out of the deck. So they go to 9. At all. Interesting. Alright, land at the top, or we Green Suns Fatigue and try to get away that way. Not good enough. Guess. Effectively at 7. Effectively at 4. Maybe there's a world where they include Street Wraith and Punishing Fire gets there. I don't think Green Suns at this stage is going to do enough. Just trying to think if there's any reason to Green Suns first. Like maybe we can get rid of the Petal as well after attacking. 1, 2, 3. And then we get 2 mana back, +1. See if they want to force this. No. I think we have a better chance of winning this by them for some reason going to 2 life and we Punishing Fire them more than Gaddock Teeg getting there somehow. So let's untap this, return this, play the Savannah. I think I will kill the Petal here. I don't think it does a whole lot, but we'll see. Hey Josh, hope you're well. Doing very well, thank you. Very cool to try something out like this. This is obviously an older list, but potentially could have legs in some cases. Yes, thankfully we do have a Eternal scene here in Australia, so I typically play every week, which is really nice. Play once a week, stream twice a week. Consider. Okay. No commander. There's one Street Wraith. Is there another one? Edge of Autumn. Sadly, nothing we can do here. There are, yeah, I would say there's stores in most major cities, thankfully. Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney, Adelaide, Perth. Not too sure about Darwin, not too sure about Tasmania and Hobart. I believe Hobart has an LGS. Sadly, here we don't even have anything like being able to Punishing Fire the Thassa's Oracle, because they have 0 cards. Tough. So here I like the blasts. I like the chokes on the play. The tutors are interesting. Not sure if I want the tutors just yet. Take out the Jitte, a Qasali. Definitely the swords and the maze. I could see the punishing staying, but maybe they're a little bit just meh. I don't mind the Phyrexian Metamorph if they are in the One Ring. Bring in the tutors. The only thing that I'm a little bit worried about is Opposition Agent, which does pop up in some Doomsday 75s. And if you take out all your removal, you don't have a great time against it. So I might even just like keep one tutor and then keep 2 Punishing Fires. Just having a quick look. Yeah, I think that's going to be it. All right. Look, put up a pretty good fight for a 5. This is a little bit slow. It does have like a plan. In the blind, I'd be pretty happy to keep this, but I think against Doomsday, I'm pretty happy to try to find some sort of hate in my opening hand other than just Green Suns. Okay. Mana here is a little bit tough, so it might be another 5 we're going to be looking at. I think it was the 7 last time with the Dryad Arbor. Always tends to happen for Dryad Arbor decks. Alright, look, it's a 5, so I think we're going to be keeping this. Probably bottoming the Canopy. And the Qasali. And just, maybe the life doesn't actually matter. Maybe we keep these 2, bottom these 2. If we draw a land, hopefully a red source, we have Blast Up, we have Choke potentially. The Canopy's nice in case we just draw lands running. We can hopefully turn Canopy into a spell. Okay. I'm happy to lead off with a Canonist here. See how much they want to care about this. It's really nice that Canonist does stop Dark Ritual or Cabal Ritual into Doomsday. Okay. Chose to shuffle. It's good for us. Green Suns. Okay. That is a red source off the blast, which is nice. So let's attack with Canonist first. I also like putting Teeg on the board just because of something like Teferi next turn. Teferi bounce on Canonist. If we have a bird out, it means the bird can't finish off the Teferi unless we blue blast it. Actually, yeah, I like just... It is a little bit tough here because if we play the Teeg, we can't play the Green Suns with the Teeg in play. So I think for that reason we have to Green Suns this turn. And I think actually just building out our mana is also quite nice. And we want to go for a bird here. Okay, pretty happy to see that. The issue for us here is if we draw a land next turn, because of Canonist, we can't play Choke and also protect it with Red Elemental Blast. It might be greedy, but I really want to hit one more land off the Choke. I would love for them to tap this. So I think this turn it might just be play Teeg, hold up Bird and Canopy. We then hold up Blast in their turn. And if not, we can probably just cycle this for another card off the top. They chose to shuffle that last Ponder as well. Teeg does prevent Ring, which is also quite good. Correct. They have 6 cards. I guess, like, Choke also does to some extent. Best case is play Choke. In response, they push the like Canonist and then try to say Brainstorm or force this, and then we can blast. Yeah, I actually, while they've been, like, both of these have been shuffles, I don't mind trying to get a Choke down. Even if it is just one land. If it's a force and a blue card, it's not too bad either. Okay. I assume then they would have blasted the Teeg if possible. I think if they cantrip here, I'm happy to blast it. Oh, they're gonna ritual into Ring potentially? Yeah. Okay. So that's their turn. Wasteland's pretty good. I would like to start Teeg. Hey, Lord Miller Gaming, a big thank you for the sub. Too kind, 11 months is very, very cool. The Wasteland could be better for us, as we get to draw and also hold up Blast. But I think taking him off the Underground Sea is too hard to pass up. At this stage, we don't need the mana. I don't think. We have a 3-turn clock, pretty much, with the fetch and then most likely drawing at least one card. I think this I'm pretty happy to hit. Actually, I can't. Because of Canonist. Well, that's okay. I'm sure there's a blue card that we can counter on their side. Maybe it's a fairy bounce, just to buy some time from their end. I've never used 2 pass until it responds. We'll see how that goes. This is game 2, but we are playing Teeg in the main deck. This is a list from 2012 that won SCG LA. White. Okay. Hopefully Teferi. Pretty happy to trade that. Yeah. We have 2 looks next turn as well for Stony Silence, which would be great to turn off this ring. But it is only 1 card. Oh, we're 1 card away from like enduring Light and Tutor. Ooh, okay. Doesn't do a whole lot. We might as well draw. So let's use the Forest. Because then we can hold up all mana. Aven. Ooh, that's interesting. That's quite good for next turn, potentially. If we could Aven in response to a Doomsday, that would be clutch. Put them to 7. They take 1 for the ring, so next turn we do have lethal. So they need to do something of some mana. We counter 6 here as well. Now they're like in a tough spot. They need to find something quite good. Because they take 3 from the ring. Going to 2. I don't want to say it's impossible because something like Massacre is turned off by Gaddock Teeg. If they remove Gaddock Teeg, then they've spent their turn on a spell to not remove the Canonist. Qasali's lethal. Maybe Aurim's Chant. Aurim's Chant could buy them a turn, which we did see game 1. If you want to see a sweet Aurim's Chant play, definitely check out the latest YouTube video on Dukes on Twitch. I'm going to say it's something you've never seen before. Alright. We get a turn. Oh, maybe not. Okay. This might be the chant. Target player can't cast spells this turn if a spell was kicked. Alright, well, we get to cast the Aven, which is fantastic, and it can't be countered thanks to Eat This One Canonist. Which also turns off Doomsday to some extent. Wasteland would be cool. Tutor, okay. It was not a tutor. It was a tutor. That was my Arnold Schwarzenegger. Wasn't that great? Right opponent. Oh, don't do this now. Surely I can wait for the program to respond. Surely we can wait this out. Maybe not. We'll be right back. Hey there, we're back. Technical difficulties, but that's okay. Looking to steal one of Doomsday. If anyone played during this era, 2012, I would love to know. Sadly, just before my time in terms of Magic and also Legacy, of course. What I've learned with MTGO restarts is don't touch anything. Just let it happen. One thing I will say, it's very cool to go back and have a look at some of the old lists of Maverick, I should say. To those on YouTube, a huge thank you for watching. Apologies for the technical delay. Great time to subscribe if you like this content. Oh, we just won. Okay. Damn, I really wanted to take a photo of that. That's cool. Oh. Okay, that's interesting. The sideboard's not done. That's very weird. So we like these, take out the swords, take out the maze. We like the canonist, Stony Silence. We don't mind the metamorph. 2 tutors, actually just 1 tutor, right? Yeah, take out a Qasali. Probably the Jitte. Interesting. Thank you, Panda. There we go. Actually, it was the Punishing Fire. Alright, let's see how this goes. Okay. A very fair start. We do have protection on Mum for Gaddock Teeg, but Gaddock Teeg isn't really the hate bear you want against Doomsday. Canonist, I felt like it did a lot of work there. This hand might just be a little bit too fair. It does have mana on point, which is a pretty big upside, seeing the hands we've had so far in this limited testing. It's probably turn 1 Noble into turn 2 Zenith, which means Mum isn't coming online for a little while. Just a little bit tough. Fire is not too bad against control. It's tough because auto control decks play things like Uro, which can gain a bunch of life. But it is a nice way to like finish off planeswalkers. Obviously against like Minskin Boo, it's quite good because you can kill the hamster. I think we are going to mulligan this just to hopefully have like an actual hate piece in hand. Okay, there we go. Let's keep this. I think it's the sword. I think we want to go turn 1 Bird, turn 2 Teeg with Blast up. And then 3 mana, or 4 mana I guess, with Bird. Sword not really doing a whole lot till turn 1, 2, potentially 3, potentially turn 4. And I think we'll draw into other things before then. Luckily, if they just go like Ritual Opposition Agent, we don't actually care about that. But we do care about that, so that's a tough one. I honestly think probably their best, or a pile they could go with, is just fetch land, land, fetch land, land, Oracle. It does, yeah, it does feel tough to like be on the Punishing Fire plan, and then your opponent just makes like 8 2/2s with 4 Thurlingas. But locally, if you're playing against versions with Planeswalkers, definitely not bad. It's nice you can get it back with a few things. Potentially with Orcish Bowmasters, you have like a 4-color version, so you're also pinging them on their draws. You could opt for like a burn strategy, but I wouldn't say it's a reliable strategy. But it is nice that against control, sometimes Fire and Orc could get there as a team. If I draw into Wasteland, I don't think it's worth Wastelanding. I'm going to assume they're playing or building a pile that plays around Wasteland. It's like 2 blue sources. Obviously Oracle. Maybe there's a world where like holding up the Blast could get there. Maybe they don't play around the Blast. They did Sea Blast though, so... Question is, do we have time to play the bird? Is it too risky to go Taiga into bird and then next turn try to play Teeg into Elemental Blast, or are they just going to get there again? Yeah, it's tough. If I don't think they're going to go off next turn, I could play the bird. Like, the thing that Teeg does is makes the red Elemental Blast uncounterable in case they do a pile. Okay, that's interesting. Turn 1 Doomsday. I feel like I'm just going to make the call that if I did go Taiga hold up pass, they have a plan for Blast. But if I go Taiga into bird and hopefully get another turn, I think I have a better chance of having both Blast and Stony Silence potentially. They also don't know the list, so they could be playing around Endurance as well, which we don't have. But honestly, other than a turn 1 Doomsday, pretty sweet hand. We have birds, we have a Hate Bear, we have a backup in Stony Silence, we have protection in Red Elemental Blast, we have 3 lands. Cast anything we want. Wow, no land. Ooh, okay. Is there a world where they're relying on Lotus Petal and LED to get mana? Interesting for them to not even play a land. Because if we Wasteland now, they have to find, say, two petals, or land and petal. But if they had a second land in play, they'd only need to find petal. Wow. Wow, they must have not played around like a Stony Silence effect. Really interesting. Really interesting for them to not have a second land in the pile if they don't have one in their hand against the deck that they know is quite good at mana denial. But yeah, did not expect to get up against Doomsday, especially a turn 1 Doomsday. That's pretty cool. And yeah, I think like probably the big decision there was I could try to hold up a blast on turn 1, but I think saying like it's not 100% guaranteed, so putting myself in a better position for turn 2 is where I like to move towards. Because then you have so many options. On turn 1 you have Blast, or you have Bird's Paradise. But then turn 2 with Birds you have a ton of different things. Stony Silence. Sweet hand. We get a pretty sweet hand. We have turn 1 Acceleration, turn 2 Stoneforge. Or turn 2 Knight, depending on what they're on. They even drew with the Street Wave, which makes me think maybe they got their pile wrong. Or else they would have tried to go off that turn with double petal into Oracle. But who am I? Right, gonna keep 7. Savannah. Green Suns for Dried Arbor. Wasteland. Okay. Wasteland's fine. A little bit awkward. Being our only white mana. One thing that does do, quite subtly, is it turns a Knight into a 4/4 next turn, which is quite good. Really aggressive from them. To Wasteland turn 1 when we're ahead, but not have a backup, they're also choosing to shuffle. Yeah. So they have 7 cards. I really want to run the Knight out, but into Daze isn't the greatest. We could also play out Qasali, something we don't really care about. Get in for 3 with the Arbor. Stoneforge isn't too bad. Obviously Green Suns for Scryb Ranger is kind of cool as well. So they, yeah. A few options here, what do I like? A land off the top means that we could double spell 2 2-drops next turn. So I kind of want to go with a 3-drop here and just do a Daze check. And I think because of that, it's going to be Knight. Wow, okay, well, so much for the Daze check. That was just a straight, I do not have any sort of counter magic. I mean, now they're really stressed to find something. because now we have access to Cradle, we have access to Wasteland. Could potentially see a tempo play of like bounce with Brazen Borrower, but if they didn't have the force of today's last turn, what are the chances they drew it this turn? I also want to get better at that. I don't daze check enough. I just respect daze and play around it when I should a lot of the time just be like, hey, they have daze, but we have so many spells to cast. I'd much rather dive into daze, potentially, instead of dying with 5 cards in hand that we just like didn't want to play around daze. Wow. Okay. Swords is quite good. I honestly wouldn't mind another Noble. Get in for 7. Hey, you're welcome. Yeah, Punishing Mav with a little bit of spice, but not doing too poorly. Wow. See, yeah. Look, preface, I don't know the hand, but it seems really odd to Wasteland the deck that accelerates mana, has more permanence in play, when you don't have a way to back up and like take out the Dried Arbor, take out the Noble. Surely like relying on baubles and ponders to potentially find removal for the mana is just tough. Yeah. Really, really cool to get game 1. We like these a lot. Let's have a quick think. So Mindcensor is a flyer. That is something to think about, but typically not great. Green Suns, the birds. The Maze is cool to think about. I have to think about that as well. The Teeg can come out. The Pridemage can come out. I really like lowering the curve as well against this sort of deck. On the draw, not that keen about Choke, but potentially in this version with so much removal, I'm okay with Choke because we have so many ways to actually control the board. Yeah, this is a list from 2012. I will preface that. I've also said preface 2 times this stream already, and I've never said preface on stream. That's fine. So like you could think about Choke, you could think about Loam, you could think about the Bog effects. I typically think these are a little bit too slow and just awkward with timing on knowing when to do it. The mums are great. I think the Stoneforge Mystic package is fine. I could see like taking out 1 and 1. And just keeping the Jitte and 2 Stoneforges to find it. Potentially even like 1 Stoneforge as like a bit of an Enlightened Shooter effect. Like there's nothing worse than like drawing the Jitte in the opening hand that's great and then having the 2 Mystics in the deck. I will take out the Pridemage. If they have Grafdigger's Cage, if they have Unlicensed Hearst, so be it. So be it. We're not bringing these in. Metamorph's interesting. I believe it won't copy the counters of a Murktide. One more. We have some time. It could be Stoneforge. Maybe it is just Bog. It's another mana source, which is kind of nice. Yeah. Yeah, okay. We want 3 lands, 2 removal pieces on the draw. That's like perfect. And then a plane with the other 3 cards. 2 cards. Ret Mana Acceleration. 3 lands, 2 removal pieces. 3 lands, 2 removal pieces. Okay, I actually don't mind this. Turn 1, Sav, Green Suns for Dryad Arbor. Turn 2, see where things go. Hitting land drops is pretty key here when we do that. Delver, okay. Funnily enough, probably the card that I'm happiest to see. Now, this is a little bit risky, but with a Delver start, I am more than happy to Wasteland my opponent. There's a lot of hands you keep as a 1-lander, and you go, I'm going to play my threat first, and then ponder turn 2, and they just don't hit. Okay, they have a Bolt. They attack. Play a Trop, okay. Alright. I think here, I'm happy to try to accelerate. If they want to daze this, that's fine. Because we have the sword for the Delver. Okay. The other option is Green Suns first on turn 1. Okay. Probably happy to play the Bog now. Yes. Keep them off a Murktide. Next turn we have Punishing Fire. I don't see this resolving, but we have ways to get it back. Ooh. Wow. And no land from them. That's huge. I think in that case, I really like getting Jitte down this turn. And holding up Get Back Punishing Fire. Because right now, all their threats they can play, most likely, are going to be susceptible to Punishing Fire. Oh, they miss another land drop. Okay. I'll take that. I think just for mana considerations, it's just choke now. They're also on 7 cards, so I could see them just forcing this, but it does 2 for 1 them, which is nice. Okay, if they want to daze, that's even better for us. Fetch land is probably where we want to be. Sav, obviously, same sort of situation. Knights being a 4/4 is pretty convenient against a deck that we know has Bolt. They also chose there to play the Volk. Interesting. Playing Bauble first means they don't have a DRC, which is nice. And look, it's technically correct here just to go for the Punishing Fire. Return it, deal 1. Tarmogoyf. It's a 5/6. Look, we'll take that. Wow. All right. This is the magic that I love. It's a 6/7. Questing Druid, sure. Okay. Thankfully, Wasteland here can't take out both Groves, and it can't take out a white source. Wow. That is just... Alright. Very nice. Honestly, I am a little bit sad that I missed the time where Goyf was just in Maverick. I mean, there are definitely times, now that Fiend Artisan's been found, before then, that I would have loved to have just been able to Green Suns for Goyf on many occasions. Great hand. Access to all colors, Green Suns for a bit of flexibility, mana acceleration, removal, interaction. I can only assume this is going to be a Reanimator deck. Just in case it's mono black. Oh, okay. In that case, my only thought is like opposition agent. Do I want to use these right now? Like without, yeah, I'm pretty happy to go for Taiga here, and then play Noble. Turns it on colors. They know what's up. That makes me think they have like a Wasteland potentially, or they don't want me to accelerate my mana. Maybe they're scared of Ooze being open with the mana next turn. Okay. That's not too bad. I think we just play the Ooze out. Can get Goyf next turn. I think we'll just get Goyf. I think, yeah. Okay. Ooh, now we're talking. Now we are talking. I think we attack because they can attack with the Voidwalker. I will... Oh, I could not play it and go for the surprise. Like, if I play a Sword of Feast and Famine, what can they do? Like, they're gonna... Like, okay. By playing the sword, it puts a huge target on my only creature, but there's already a pretty huge target on the Goyf that I think it's worth actually playing this out. Because if we draw into another threat next turn, we probably just want to play that if the Goyf isn't online anyway. Oh, okay. It's kind of cool. Nice. It's a pretty good last card to have. I should have fetched him response as well, but I didn't, but that's fine. I guess no matter what they get, I just have protection. Can they get Qasali Pridemage and then destroy the sword? Please don't do that. Please don't do that. That'd be really sad. Yeah. Tough. This Punishing Fire potentially could work here. I have to attack. Because even if I hold this back and make them attack with everything, say I block here, I kill this, I still take... Oh, wait. Maybe not. Maybe we make them attack. Because if I attack, they blow up the Qasali Pridemage. Let's have a quick think. So, if we attack, they block with this because they blow up first and then block. They swing back for 3, 6, 7. Yeah, so the Pridemage can blow up the sword. So if we attack, it takes out this and this. They swing back for 1, 4, 7, but we take out the Voidwalker or the opposition agent and then block with a... No. Does blocking do anything? No. because we take one, but we can't block the Voidwalker. If we don't attack, they attack with everything potentially. I think we don't attack. Maybe we do. Maybe we, yeah. I think we actually do. Sorry. We attack. We trade the 2 here. They attack with 1. Yeah. You get the op agent. Doesn't really matter. And take us off red. Oh, they're not going to take us off red? Surely they will. They've just seen Punishing Fire. Yeah, okay. Okay. Interesting. So we could attack, put them to 2, and swords our own Goyf. That doesn't really do a whole lot. I think we just hold back, and if they attack with both, we swords the Voidwalker. What do we like? What do we like? I like the parts. That's really it. I think we can take out the Teeg. And probably 1 Pridemage. Mono black. Mono black. Like, maybe the other, like, yeah. I think that's probably the only changes. I would assume they're like a reanimate list, but we have the Ooze. Like, I don't think we need the Tormund's Crypt. Canonist turns off like Ritual, but that's not that great anyway. I think this is pretty key. Ooh, a 1-lander that isn't a white source. Okay. We could keep this and bottom of Wasteland. The only issue is that I don't want to play the Savannah into a Wasteland, because that really screws up this hand. So I think we're going to go Forest, which is a little bit awkward if they play like a turn 1 Grief. But I think being awkward against Grief is worth just having our mana online. Okay. Gonna pass with Scryb Ranger open here. I think we go for sword. Yeah. And then I think we actually attack with Scryb. And then post-main replay the Savannah to hold up white. The only issue here is I really want to hold this sword as long as possible for the troll. But if they play a land and then we swords one of these, they can just sack it in response and kill something, getting a nice 2-for-1. So I think here I'm actually just going to play the board a little bit and just swords one of these right now. And then hopefully with either sword or knight we can get there with Maze of Ith. Okay. I wonder if I don't mind the double block here. Get rid of one. I think worst case we untap with the Stoneforge. We then just have another creature alongside Knight, which would be just a 2/2. I don't mind that just because like Scryb Ranger is open to a lot of hate, especially post board and knowing they're playing Bowmaster. Also knowing sword is off the line or offline, the Scryb isn't as valuable. They missed a land drop, which is quite huge. They also found one with the troll, so they have a lot of action in hand. Feed the swarm. Okay. The Night So Nice, we drew it twice. It's really cool. I like this in Reanimator sideboards. Okay. Green Suns. I actually like Goyf here. I think we could also go for Skoos. That's pretty interesting. We're definitely attacking with the Qasali Pridemage. It is a sorcery, sadly, yes. I think it would be pretty great as an instant speed spell. Maybe that's, yeah. Okay. So we're definitely taking 6 next turn, so I think it actually is Skoos, just to try to stem the bleeding a little bit. But Goyf is pretty huge as well, let's be honest. Goyf would be sorcery, creature, instant artifact of 4/5. I think it's gonna be Skoos. I kind of like Skoos. Like, if they... Like, we have to double block this with the Stoneforge Mystic as well, so if they have, like, a Fatal Push for the Goyf, then it just leads pretty poorly. This allows us to be aggressive as well, but also gain some life in the small turn. Cradle, a fantastic draw. Swords to Plowshares, not too bad. One nice thing about going back to this deck as well is that it makes you really think about every point of damage. Probably a pretty poor draw, not being a green source for Ooze. Definitely a troll. And then eat the grief. Attack for 5. Puts them on a really short clock. Sure. Hey Ben, welcome. Happy to try to double block this. We do take 3. Go to 4. No updates on this list. Sorry, what do you mean, Ben? Ah, no updates. No, this is the exact 75. I was thinking about Batterskull, but I was like, no, let's just keep it as is. Get back to mum. Okay. Ugh. I probably should have drawn first because here I can gain 2. I take a life of the canopy, so I can gain 2, go to 6. If they don't hit me, I guess we go down to 1. So if they don't block, maybe I'll hold back the Stoneforge. Yeah, I should really have looked first. I think I should have thought more about that turn. Yeah, let's attack with both. No blocks. Oh, I can't draw because of the Orc. 3, 4, 5. Okay. So let's eat Stalker. Let's eat Stalker. I guess it's lose a life, gain a life if I like use the canopy to. Yeah, I think I probably should have eaten with the canopy. Put them down to 1. I guess what I'm doing is playing her a little bit. No. Oh, yeah, because there's the fetch. Yeah, there's the fetch. Use my mana effectively. There it is. They do gain a life, though. What if we hit the marsh flats? They fetch. They gain 1. We punishing fire them for the win. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Nice. Nice. You really have to find like little parts of that to, yeah, little situations where you can make them go down. But very lucky because I did make the mistake of just not using the canopy. Like, I lose a life, I gain a life, so that's irrelevant. They cross each other out. But then I should have got there. Yeah, so canopy I didn't use to draw the card because I don't want the token nor to take the damage. Oof. So we do know about Reanimate, so I actually probably don't mind just playing the Crypt, honestly. The Pridemage is a creature, which sounds silly, but that is a lot. Mana Acceleration, Stoneforge, Punishing Fire. I don't really want to drop a land. Like Karakas is pretty mediocre, but maybe they're playing Turak, so it's worth having. Maze is obviously pretty strong. One Aven, yeah, I actually don't mind that. I kind of like lowering the curve as well. The faster I can double spell a turn, the better. They're also not really a deck that searches, so. Look. Yeah. Yeah, okay. We have Drive Upper as well. Okay. Okay. Having the Crypt is quite nice. Unfortunately, here we don't have a forest to get back with the Ranger. Okay. A little bit tricky here. Obviously, Bowmaster's a little bit tough, but I do want to build out mana. If I do it with Green Suns, I can also hold up Sword for Opposition Agent. Okay, 3 mana online. Pretty happy just to try to remove any sort of threat now. Okay. I can Stoneforge hold up Path for Opposition Agent. Wow, okay. I kind of like just playing that. Okay. Okay. 2 cards left for them. Not too much. It's very interesting because I can see the appeal for the card, but from my end, as a creature player that sometimes would be susceptible to the target, in this version especially, it's kind of tough. But yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. But I also don't play the decks that play it, so you never know. Brief. Okay. That'll take probably the path. Play Scryb. Untap this, return this. Play this. 1, 2, equip. Attack. It blocks, that's pretty sweet. We get our triggers. And now we just get to pass back. To be fair, like they have had a hand of just 4 lands and like 4 spells. Nothing too, yeah, not really the aggressive starts that someone could have. But hey, we're 3-0, which is nice. But yeah, I feel like that deck can definitely have faster starts. Things like Bowmaster there, turn 2 would have been fantastic. We were a little bit light on mana, so hitting our X1s would have been great. So I think we were, yeah, caught pretty lucky in that last game for sure. Hey Pigeon, welcome. Pretty cool. We're playing a list from 2012. This is from... Waiting. Legacy. John Kassari, who won the Los Angeles SCG Legacy Open in 2012, which is cool. So a lot of old tech, but a lot of cool tech, a lot of tech that still is relevant to some extent. Sadly, challenges are a little bit wonky. Usually on Saturdays, they start at 10 p.m. So they go until, I think, 4 or 5 a.m. And then the typical Sunday challenges are on Monday mornings, which is tough. So we are on the play. I'm going to keep this. It's a little land light, but it does have turn 1 mum, or turn 1 birds into turn 2 2-drop. But I could see where this is a mulligan. But it's also their turn 1, so... Oh, okay. We'll go for Savannah here into bird. Island. Okay, I did not expect Island there. Wooded Foothills Island. Taiga. Oh, okay, Rhinos. Yikes. Rhinos is going to be quite difficult for this deck because even Aethersworn Canonist doesn't stop it because this is an artifact. Oh, yeah. Like Mum, Trample is pretty tough as well. We're taking 10 next turn. I think I'd rather just not show what we have. Yeah, unfortunately. Okay. Rhinos, like the parts. I guess Canonist does stop the other half of the deck. The Teeg can most likely come out. Goyf is pretty good. Pridemage can come out, probably down to 1, even 0. Like Blast, maybe, just because it can counter things. Take out the Mindcensors, bring in chokes potentially. Yeah, this is a little bit rough. Doesn't really line up a whole lot. Could go down on a Mum as well. I don't mind that. Alright. Alright, keeping this. I'm gonna go for Taiga into Noble Hierarch. That turns on like Last Wasteland. I'm not too sure. I'm trying to think at the time what my opponent would have played against with Metamorph. Let's have a quick one. Oh, they could also be on Blood Moon, so maybe I actually just want to fetch up a basic here. Let's go for Noble. Yeah, so here we have the lists, and then 2021, 2020, LA, Los Angeles. So we had like Blade Control, Reanimator. Maybe against Reanimator, you could bring it in. That's not Reanimator. Yeah. Maybe it's like a show and tell thing. Alright, Crushing Footballs on the stack. Swords is pretty decent. I think we're just going for Sword. As it untaps everything. I shouldn't also 6, I should attack if I can. But I think it's going to shoot straight through. Oh, no. Nice. Okay. Fire, sure. I mean, at least here we get to go Wasteland here and then force, sorry, play the Knight, which will be a 4/4. Keep this over here. So they are green, which is great. Oh, Oh, is this like a Minsk and Boo? Okay. It's not too bad. They're going to throw it at the Noble? No. They're going to attack. Okay. I'm going to hold it back. Interesting. Do they know about Caracas? Maybe not. Down to 2 cards. Definitely playing the land. Take Minsk for 5. Play Stoneforge. I think that's better than playing Sword, but it's interesting. Like, Sword allows me to untap my lands next turn for 2 mana. But if I have the Stoneforge down, I can potentially do that anyway. Fury's a little bit, maybe Fury's something to think about. No. Keep the punches rolling. Wow, okay. Well, I guess Stoneforge was the easier play there. Okay. We saw Minsk. Does that change anything? No, it means we probably want the Caracas for sure. Yeah, my thought was if we get the Stoneforge into play, we get Cradle, which allows us to do both the following turn. 3 6 mana. Play the Jitte, equip the Jitte, equip the sword, swing in, potentially untap and cast something we drew. I kind of like the Mum knowing, like, thinking about Fury. The Canonist I'm not the biggest fan of. Like, it has to line up with only Violet Outburst. Chokes are a little bit awkward, but I think they're just at, like, good enough, potentially. Metamorph. I get a 4/4, potentially. I could potentially get a Hasty Hamster. Let's try it out. Yeah, Scryb Ranger is interesting. Pro blue. Probably not, actually. I was thinking of most likely running it alongside Mother of Runes, but like it can just fog Shardless Agent. I don't think that's enough of a reason to keep it in. I think it is just the weakest link. All right. Okay. This is quite poor against a fast Rhino start, but double Mum isn't too shabby. We also just have Mum into Stoneforge. Opponent's gone to 6 cards. All right. In that case, probably just hold the Wooded Foothills here for Forest next turn. Play Stoneforge. Unless they have a fire here. Best case now is Wasteland off the top, play Mum again. Path isn't the worst. I really hope they go Island this turn. We might be able to get all basics out of their deck. Okay. Oh. There we go. Nothing too, yeah, too out of the ordinary. So I will just try to path a Rhino here. I don't think this deck runs a plateau, actually. Thinking of it. No, it doesn't. Interesting. I guess plateau's a little bit awkward. It isn't a green source either. Fury now, especially like land into Fury, is disaster. But we'll see. Mum can protect itself and potentially can even attack with the Jitte next turn. So that's definitely the downside of Path. The extra mana is pretty critical. I don't think there's any blocks here either with the Mum. We just have to leave it open so it doesn't get hit by like a post-combat Fury or a Fire Ice. Jitte is really cool. I think potentially for this sort of matchup, I need something like Fetchland, Manadork, Fetchland, Knight. Ooh, Blood Moon. That's going to be okay. They have 3 cards. I could try for Sword here. It's tough. I could also try to put it through the Stoneforge, but then both of these are tapped. Yeah, the Blood Moon is actually a Sire Relief, which doesn't often happen. The question is, how much do I believe that they have a Force in hand? There's one here. Probably rather the Sword get forced than the Jitte anyway. Alright, now I get to untap. And then put the Jitte on the Mum, I guess? I'll play the Jitte. They do have to discard, which is nice. Okay. I think we just play the Jit and then hold up the fire here for the agent. Oh, maybe I actually hold up. Yeah, I think I actually hold this up for Minskin Boo. For the Boo token. But if they attack first, I think then I'm not going to worry about Minsk, because they tap out and then we have the mum. Still nothing too tricky. Come on, 2-mana spell. Mum. Not the worst. Is it worth playing? I think it is. Yeah. Equip here. Attack with Stoneforge. We now get counters as well, which again stops Boo, which is really nice. They have to discard a card. Force. Well, they had a force. Okay. Well, now we get to use our mana to move over to the mum. Maybe I should have done the sword first. You never know. Okay. Right. So what we can do here, with the mum, we can grow it to be a... What I don't think we can do is... I have a feeling like we can't tap the mum. I don't think we have the opportunity to tap this. Like, I think we just have to hold this up. So we want to go block here, because we can pump 1 to be this being a 5/5. And then we want to block here. So we go to blocks. Ah, they can pump as well. Violent Outburst, yeah. I think that's still okay, because we get to gain 4, so we just... We have to gain 2 and then give protection. Oh, but it tramples over. Maybe it's literally Xaxes. I think it is Xaxes. Because we're at 10, so we have to gain 2, but then 2 tramples over anyway. Yeah. If I pump them on with Jitte, I'm still taking 10 from 2 Rhinos. I can gain life after damage, but I can't save anything here. Yeah. Yeah, because being a 3/3 and a 5 with trample, I take 2, so it doesn't really matter what I do here. Hey Kai, welcome. Hope you're doing well. A big thank you for the stream, for the raid. Yeah, I think we're just dead here, unfortunately. Neg doesn't do anything. This can only pump the equipped creature. That's the only thing. The trample's really tough, so at least here we're definitely blocking 3, which I think is the most we can do with this mum. But all good. Kai, how's Merfolk? Merfolk looks sweet. There might be a world where they don't assign the trample damage, but I think it automatically assigns. Yeah. Put up a good fight, though. Yeah, really hard to keep up on a value perspective. Pro green and then just gain 2. Ah, it is already protection. That's very true. I should have given this mum. Yeah, that was just a really stupid error. Apologies. But it doesn't matter. It is exactly 12. Yeah. Tough. Well, hopefully we can finish this 4-1. For those of you who came in from Kai's stream, we're actually streaming a 2012 deck list from LA SCG Legacy Open, a first place finish with Mav. So not what you'd typically see, say Mark Strassman or Achilles or Harry1232 or Clips for Life streaming, but we'll see. Hey, Punishing Waterfalls. But like the list, even though it's what, 12 years old, we beat Doomsday, we beat Rug Delver, we beat Mono Black, and we put up a fight against Rhinos. So always nice to do something like that. But yeah, I really enjoy going back in time and like looking at some of the lists and just seeing what they're playing. So like no Collect Oof, no Minsk and Boo, no Ignoble Hierarch. It's definitely a few things, but the core of the deck, the core is still really good. But damn, that would have been really cool. Some cool matches though. None of them have been easy to get. Yeah, I really wish the Mindcensor came up. I guess it kind of did. Our opponent went to Orum's Chant on our turn to stop a lethal attack, and in response of it being kicked in upkeep, we got to cast a flash Aven, which is cool, which I think was the final nail in the coffin. We just didn't see it, but all right. Look, if it's against Delver, any day, but looks like our opponent last played this, which his hand is pretty shocking against. Yeah, I really like hand with creatures, and this is it. Let's keep this. What are we bottoming? This is pretty tough. If it is show and tell, I really want the Krakus. If it isn't, I really want the Punishing Fire. Is it greedy to put back the Forest? I actually don't think so. Maybe it is. I think I'm happy to put back the Forest. If they Mega us, we have the Punishing Fire for it. Okay. Happy to see that. Okay. Probably the Mum if they're a non-combo deck, probably the Qasali if they are. But also, turn 2 Orcish Bowmasters just takes out the Mum, so I could see one of these two. Okay, the Mum. Interesting. I think in that case, just to play around Wasteland, I'm happy to play the Wooded Foothills this turn. Double Underground. Stifle, okay. This could be like the Bug deck, which is going to be tough. Bug is very tough. Okay. We have the Blasts that I like. We have the Chokes and the Loam, which I don't mind. Okay. In a really tough spot. If we get another turn, we can Green Suns for Noble Hierarch, try to get some mana going. Yeah. Tough. I do like the Blasts. I do like these cards. I don't mind the Bog. Teeg, Pridemage. Probably both Pridemages. Swords. Okay. Possibly the Avens. Yeah. A lot of ways to deal with those. Probably just a Stoneforge. I know that Pokemoki's list I think plays 1 or 2 Stifle. I don't think a lot of people are on that. The Loam seems pretty cool in this matchup. Especially if they are quite aggressive on our mana. I think this is fine. The Metamorph's kind of cool, but I think that's just what it is. Just cool. Could like take out a Punishing for a path, but really want that turn 1 Mum. Would be very cool to take a game here and then take this to a third. Try to push. Potentially going for basics early on. The only issue is that then we have to rely on Birds of Paradise potentially for red, as Noble Hierarch doesn't produce red mana, and we don't have a mountain in the deck. Okay, pretty happy to keep this. I think it's just gonna be Savannah into Mum, and then hold up Scryb Ranger. Maybe not. Yeah, actually I'm gonna go Savannah into Mum, and then probably Windswept into Red Source pass with Ranger open. I guess in that case I might as well just fetch straight away. Yeah. Okay. It's pretty nice. I don't mind growing here. No. We might have a reader, which is fair. Haven't seen too much of Scryb lately. Okay. I like night, and then hopefully night into night. Potentially choke off the top would be decent. Yeah, there's not many cards that pull us back. Maybe Stoneforge? Stoneforge into Sword would be okay. But like, being open to Sheoldred's Edict here is pretty rough. just doing another night. Take them off green. This is where something like a Minskin Boot could be cool. Scryb Ranger, Sylvan Library. I guess Library without the Bowmaster. Minsc could be cool. Three two's not too bad. A 3-2 with this list I'm still okay about. But it would have been really cool to snipe a 4-1. But even with a 2024 version, the bug matchup is really tough to keep up against value with, just like Rhinos. They have a lot of 2-for-1s, even like Fury, but usually they're discounting a card dealing with 2 creatures. Still no green, which is good for us. We might be able to attack and then maze the knight, which is kind of cool. So if we put a stop at the end of our turn, deal the damage, untap the knight. One, two, three. Force. Okay. I probably don't mind here taking them off their Wasteland, just so they can't hit the maze. Okay. Well, that's pretty nice. I'm not attacking with the Dryad because I don't want them to block the Dryad and then Sheoldred to Edict us. Is there a reason to take them off double black? I don't think so. It also turns on Fatal Push, which is a little bit awkward if I do it in their turn. Oof. Yikes. Oh. Well, that just puts it on top, right? I would have... Yeah, that's fine. You just spent 2 cards to deal with my knight, but I get it back? Maybe that was just a bit of a brain fart. It's good to know about Submerge, though. Ooh. Stifle? Okay. I think in that case, now I'm happy to attack with both, as I have the Stoneforge around. Well, we got there. Like maybe metamorph on an orc is good enough. That seems kind of cool, and I'm up for a good time, so. What is it gonna be? Maybe it's the Scryb here. Like, Scryb with Mum is good, but getting Mum online is really hard, so... I think that's right where I want to be. Oof. Well, we got our little ask. We got a 3rd game, which is cool. Imposter mech'd. Would love to hit a Bowmaster. Right. I could actually bring in... no. Yeah. Yeah, we'll stick with this. Blast are cool. I really like Blast as a way to interact but also answer Murktide without having to bring in Part to Exile. not really wanting to path an early threat. What was the 2012 meta? It's a good question, friend. I will show you after this. This is a pretty decent hand. We'll keep this. It's a bunch of everything. What do I want for the top? I want a Matadork. No. Okay. I think it's just Taiga Pass. This to me signals Stifle. I'm actually pretty happy to hit this. Just because I really want to play on curve. This also means we can fetch next turn for a Savannah and play the Goyf. Sheoldred's Edict Pass would be pretty great. Hopefully being able to choke is where I want to be. I'm not sure if the newer versions can deal with it because Witherbloom Command doesn't deal with choke. It's 2 CMC or less. Okay. Land. Abrupt Decay. Sheoldred's Edict. Well, there's the Edict. They have 4 cards left. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Hopes in chat. Hopes in chat. Surely if they have a force, they're forcing already. Come on now. Come on now. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Now we're pod racing. I like getting the sword down here. I could also Noble and hold up draw a card. Double Noble's kind of cool. Then we still have the mana. It's a little bit tough if they go land, Bowmaster, but then they might have to tap another island for that. So I think I will just put down the sword. Also from like Swamp Thoughtseize. And to be honest, there is still a card I'm kind of scared about, and it was printed in 2023. And it's big. Hey Jace. Yeah, really cool to play. Like, honestly, obviously, okay, yeah, it's old. It is old. But the core feels really nice. Like, a lot of it is still there, which is always cool. See? And if you say the boogeyman comes. But maybe, just maybe, we can fight it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8, 8, so it's a 3-turn clock. I feel like I've stumbled on shit. Alright, Murktide. We do have the Canopy to draw out of it as well, which is nice. Oh, we have Maze of Ith as well. Okay, that's pretty cool. This feels like the Renaissance, like this is a Renaissance photo of the final stand. Like, if this isn't from, like, the 1800s with, like, Vikings and dragons, I don't know what is when it comes to Magic. I also shouldn't have put it on the night. We drew the maze. Okay, well. We start by sacrificing this. Stoneforge. Wow. So we pretty much have a 2-turn swing. So is there a world where I want to Wasteland myself? I don't think so. 10-10? Maybe it is. Like, I can't play around Waste. I think it is just like Wasteland myself on the Savannah. Make this a 8-8 for 10 and then make it a 2-turn clock. Discard. Plague Engineer. I don't think it matters. We put Jitte on Stoneforge. Play the Maze. Pass. They go to 3 cards. No attacks. Wow. Punishing Fire. I don't think it's greedy to put everything. I guess it is a little bit. Like, I could attack with both. They have to, like, if they have Submerge, they have to Submerge this anyway, so. I think I should have actually just attacked with both separately. I think that was incorrect to make, like, one big creature. Okay, here we are. Nice. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby, we got the 4-1. Wow. Wow, that is very cool. That is very cool. That was really fun. I really enjoyed that. There are times where it's a little bit tough, like playing a non-competitive. I think it's still competitive in my heart. But yeah, it can be tough. But here we are. Sweet deck. Sweet deck. We played against a good number of decks as well. Played against Doomsday, beat Rug Delver, beat Mono Black, went down to Rhinos, and then got up against Bug, like a Pokey, which is very sweet. It was cool. It was cool to play with sort of Beast of Famine. This card actually was really good, I feel. A few times we didn't have the cards to make use of the second main phase mana, but with something like a Sylvan Library in the deck, potentially you could. No Batterskull. A few times Batterskull would have been pretty cool. Like against Rhinos, having Batterskull in the Stoneforge Mystic package would have been sweet. Yeah, I really liked it. It's also midnight here, so I'm gonna go to bed. But a huge thank you to you for watching and supporting me. I really appreciate it. If you want to find more of me, you can find me on Twitter, YouTube. You can find the Discord here. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to see who else is streaming and then send you over their way. Looks like... Ooh, Gabe. Nice. Gabe is streaming some Magic, so I'm going to send you guys over there, but a big thank you. Enjoy your weekends. Have fun. Stay safe. And I'll see you Sunday morning.